To get the evening off and underway, we've got a 10-round junior welterweight battle between Ben Tackie and John Molina. This is what we have coming up. The fighters have made their individual ways into the ring, and we should have it underway as Michael Buffer, the ring announcer, moves into position, and we'll have the official announcements to get this fight underway. Tackie's a kid coming up at age 27. John Molina, you've probably seen him if you're a fight fan at all. He's a former world champion, had 18 world title fights in his career. He won both the WBO and IBF 130-pound title. He won 13 world title fights in a brilliant career. Just another one of those great Puerto Rican fighters. A terrific fighter. There's Ben Tackie, decked out in red, gold, and green. Those are the colors of the country of Accra in Ghana. He trains in Van Nuys, California, handled by Joe Goosen. He's a real banger. He's an aggressive, exciting fighter. There's John Molina with the red jacket on. A little bit of goatee there. He's been around quite a while. Some people say he may be over the top, but in John Molina's mind, I'm not over the top. I'm going to beat this up-and-comer Ben Tackie. I'm going to try and stop him, and if I do, I'm going to be right in line for a title shot. And you know, this junior welterweight division is an interesting one. It has guys like Costa Tszyu, Zab Judah, and Shambe Mitchell, along with Ener Julio, the former champ, Randall Bailey, a former champ, Teron Maletta, former champ, Antonio Diaz, Mickey Ward, Reggie Green, and the up-and-comer Hector Camacho Jr. So this is the type of fight that's important for John Molina if his career is going to continue. He believes he can do it. Fighters always do. Ben Tackie says, I'm going to stop this guy, this former champ, right in his tracks. This is the fourth fight this year against a top 10 opponent for Ben Tackie. He was a winner over Golden Johnson, and he took that fight on one-day notice. He defeated Robert Garcia, the former IBF champ, on 2 weeks' notice. And he also beat a former champion in Freddie Pendleton just a few weeks ago on short notice. That was a first-round knockout win. Now, this could be an exciting fight. It could be explosive. Look at that gash on the cheek. I don't know whether that happened in his hometown of Accra in Ghana. That looks like something. A dagger did that more than a punch. I don't know. That's a wild-looking cut. But, you know, Tackie and his corner are kind of upset about the rankings because Tackie's not even ranked on the top 10 listings, yet he's defeated, as I mentioned, four world-ranked fighters, four ranked fighters. Zab Judah, Costa Tszyu, and Shambe Mitchell are, you know, beating up on stiffs, and they're not fighting each other. So unless they can fight each other, we're going to find out just how good Ben Tackie is tonight and see whether he deserves to be ranked in the top 10 and see if he does, in fact, deserve a world title shot. In Tackie's three fights, we mentioned in August, he wiped out Freddie Pendleton in the first, and his two previous fights of that were nice victories, winning on a TKO over Robert Garcia in June, and last March, Golden Johnson in Tunica, Mississippi. He won that fight on a 10-round decision. And the only loss in recent time, you got to go back to January 16th of 1999 when he lost to Goyo Vargas. We'll take a look at the rules under which this will be contested. It will be the 10-point must scoring system. There is no 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. If there's any situation involving accidental headbutts, fouls of any sort, I will let you know exactly what the rule is at that time. But basically, it's got to go 4 rounds or before it goes to the scorecard, or it's a technical draw. So that's pretty much the situation here. The state of Nevada rules. It's sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Very good operation they run here in the state of Nevada because they have so much boxing here. The referee is Richard Steele for this fight, and the judges are Carol Castellano, Glenn Trowbridge, and Cindy Barton Weeds, who will be doing the judging here. All very experienced judges, and certainly Richard Steele, a Hall of Fame referee in there, is a fine one. Take a look at Molina's record. It's been an outstanding one. All kinds of title shots against Tony Lopez, Juan Laporte, Lupe Suarez, Tony Lopez. And many people in some parts of the world may not know these people, but those of you who are listening and watching in the Latin countries around the world certainly will know guys like Shane Mosley, who he was stopped by Shane Mosley, but it went 8 rounds and 8 tough rounds. Here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas, USA, where tonight, main events, Panics Promotions, and your undisputed undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, in association with America Presents and Lion Promotions, present, courtesy of TVKO pay-per-view, HBO World Championship Boxing. An evening of professional boxing for your entertainment. All the bouts tonight are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission Chairman Dr. Elias Ghanem, Commissioners Amy Ayub, Dr. Flip Homansky, Glenn Carano, and Dr. Luther Mack, Executive Director Mark Ratner. Timekeepers Jane Broadfoot and James Cavan. Physicians at ringside, Dr. James Wishgame, Dr. Margaret Goodman, Dr. William Berliner, and Dr. Gino Signorino. Tonight's card of boxing is dedicated to the memory of Blackie Gennaro. The three judges assigned to ringside for this first bout, scoring on a 10-point must system, will be Carol Castellano, Glenn Trowbridge, and Cindy Barton Weems. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Richard Steele. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the junior welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, white, and blue, and weighing in at 139.5 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding 51 victories, including 33 knockouts with 6 defeats. From Fajardo, Puerto Rico, ladies and gentlemen, here is the former junior lightweight champion of the world, John Molina. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, gold, and green, and weighing in at 139 pounds. His professional record, also an outstanding one, 21 victories, including 13 knockouts to his credit, with only 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, from Accra, Ghana, here is Ben Wonder Tackie.
Okay, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. Caution them again. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands, good luck.
Okay, so we're all set to go here. Bob Sheridan from Las Vegas, Nevada, the principal in the ring. Ben Tackie, he's decked out in red, gold, and green, the colors of the flag of Ghana. In the real flashy trunks, kind of silver, blue, and red, is John Molina, the former world title holder. Molina comes in 51-6, 33 KOs. Tackie's 21-1 with 13 knockouts. Let's see what happens here in the early going. Molina's fought just about everybody. That's Molina with his back to you now to the left of your screen in the flashy trunks. He goes fishing downstairs with that light left hand. Good right hand lands right away, cracks the left side of the skull of Molina in the early going here in round number 1. This is scheduled for 10 rounds in the junior welterweight division. It's the 140-pound division. Both guys in under that. Tackie in at 139. Molina in at 139.5. Molina jabs, goes with a wild right hand that clips him high in the head, comes with an uppercut, bangs him a couple of more shots, light shots to the body, digs downstairs one more time. Tackie tries to hold him off with a jab. He does. Molina sticks that left hand out on the face of Tackie. Tackie taps him to the jaw. Looping right hand catches Tackie by the left ear. Bangs him again with the uppercut. John takes a light right hand to the nose that time. Hits him with a jab. Looping right hand again by Tackie. Tackie just stands right in front of him. Nothing fancy here. He just wants to exchange punches. Right now, he's got Molina right where he wants him. He wants to be right in front of him and wants Molina not to try and get angles, and he's not. Molina wants to trade with him as he digs below the left elbow. Scores a body shot. Up on his toes is Molina. Very quick hands still for a guy that's had as many fights as this guy has had. You see how busy he is here in the early going. Joe Goosen told me before the fight their idea is to try to wear Molina down in the first 2 or 3 rounds and then really pick up the pace with some heavy shots. You see the time remaining in round number 1 inside of a minute and 30 seconds to go. That looping right hand catches Tackie up over the ear again. Tackie not really doing enough to take this first round. He's landed a couple of pretty good shots. Nice crisp right hand that time by John. Molina again to the left of your screen. Digs to the body again below that elbow. Good shot below the elbow that time. Neither fighter really shaken at this point. as the looping shot again by Tackie, but no power behind that one. Molina answers with 3 or 4 shots of his own. Nothing really lands. At least lands solidly, taking on the gloves. They bang inside, and Richard Steele has to separate the two for the first time in the first round of this 10-round schedule affair in the junior welterweight division. Las Vegas, Nevada, coming up, the heavyweight championship of the world. This arena is about a third filled, I'd say. It'll be jam-packed with over 20,000 people before it's over, and they're just getting warmed up. Round 1 inside of about 30 seconds to go now in round 1. Pretty good round so far for the former world champ, John Molina. Tackie goes fishing and misses. Molina counters right back, catches him, throws about 4 punches, lands one really solid inside. Look at the angles he gets. He comes with the uppercut that time. Hadn't seen that. Bangs him, that one taken on the gloves, but it still moved ahead a little bit. This is a pretty good first round, I think, for John Molina. He's certainly been busier, landed more punches, and scored the heavier blows. I give this first round as the bell comes up to John Molina. And the 10-point must scoring system, if you agree with the way I saw that first round, Molina leads 10-9. The judges here, Carol Castellano, Glenn Trowbridge, and Cindy Barton do the scoring.
Okay. Bonito. Okay, papito. Con calma, okay? Con calma.
In the corner of John Molina, that's Jose Martinez, Eduardo Jimenez, Nelson Adams, and Jose Medina work with him.
Okay. ¿Quiere agua o no? Muy bien. Dale un poquito de agua. Viene el agua.
Lau y Lau. Él no puede dar.
Estamos trabajando a los zurdos.
Just telling him to keep working, that pleased with the work he's doing.
No puede darle lo que no ve.
Con calma. Ahí una chiva.
Got a note from Logan Hobson of PunchStat that Molina threw 116 punches in the first round. That's busy. That's real good, and that's why I gave him the first round, 10-9. This is round number 2 from Las Vegas. Bob Sheridan here. This is a junior welterweight battle, 140-pound division. Ben Tackie, decked out in the colors of the Ghanaian flag, and the green with the gold and the fringe on it. And the other flashy trunks is the former world champion, John Molina, a guy that's been around. Some people think he's over the top, and he may well be, but he's still a good fighter. He's a very busy fighter. He's very skilled. He has a lot of technique, a world of experience, a good left hook. He's one of the, I don't want to say typical Puerto Ricans, because every Puerto Rican fighter isn't a champion, but I'll tell you one thing, that island of Puerto Rico has had its share of champions over the years. And of course, Felix Trinidad is the premier fighter today, but it's not only him, Wilfredo Gomez, Wilfredo Benitez, just tons and tons of fighters that you could reel off that have done such a great job. An interesting fact on John Molina, in 1983 at the World Junior Games in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, Molina won the gold medal in the bantamweight division back in 1983. And guess who won the super heavyweight that same year in those same games? Lennox Lewis, the guy that puts his heavyweight championship on the line tonight. Halfway through, this is the second round. Molina, I think, still landing more shots than is Ben Tackie. Tackie hasn't opened up yet, but this is what Goosen said he'd do. That looping right hand again lands by Molina. Molina showing the real good boxing skills that he has. Up on his toes, dancing left, dancing right. He's right in front of the guy. Off to his left again. Gets that angle with the left hook. Digs downstairs. Just a couple of little taps by Ben Tackie. Good right hand. Cracks him behind the ear. And another good right hand right on the temporal bone. A third right hand. Man, how many of these shots can Tackie take? He digs downstairs to the body underneath those elbows. And I'll tell you one thing, Joe Goosen had better tell Tackie, hey, don't wait till the third, fourth, fifth round. This guy's starting to tee off on your man. No panic in there. He hasn't been shaken, but he has been clipped on 3, what I would say, pretty good shots to the temporal bone. The right side of the head. Wow, with a right hand that time is John. Molina digs to the body, not wild that time. There's a crushing blow right below that elbow. Upstairs, downstairs is Molina. This is experience. This is real good experience. Experienced fighter. Cracks him 2 more times with the right hand. Now Tackie gets ignited a little bit as he tries to land one of his own. He misses 2. Look at the defensive tactics and movements of John Molina with about 16 seconds to go in this round. He's cracked him enough. He's won this round, too. He's beating the guy up right now. He's giving him an old-fashioned whooping. Wow, with that right hand inside, he hits him with the left hand. The overhand looping right catches him. Tackie can't do anything with this guy to this point. You get another big round, in my opinion, for Molina. Unfortunately, you can't separate the 10-9 rounds and how big the 10 is, but that's a terrific round. Let's listen to Joe Goosen now.
You see what happens when you wait? Don't sit there and wait for him, okay? Don't sit there and wait for him, Tackie. Your jab worked. See what I told you? Use the jab. Stop his right hand. You got to move that head a little bit more. You're staying on this side too much. Keep dragging your right hand. Coming around. Move your head underneath. Move your head underneath, okay? Or slip it. You got to use your jab to keep your head moving. But you got to punch more. You're waiting too long. These are close rounds. You hear me? You're hurting him more. You landed a good right hand, but you're hurting him more with harder shots. Use your jab. Use your jab. More head movement.
Okay, take a look at this replay, and you'll see the right hand by John Molina. Molina threw 109 punches in that round, according to the boys from Punchstat, and 116 in the first. But he had many, many more power shots in this second round. It was a good second round. You heard what Joe Goosen said to Ben Tackie in between. Okay, don't wait anymore now. Let's get after this guy. And that's pretty good advice. Let's see if he can execute it now. This is round 3, scheduled for 10. First 2 rounds have been all Molina, based on effective aggressiveness and just throwing more punches. Now Tackie's getting busier. You see him going with the jab. Almost looks like he paused instead of getting his hand turned over when he throws that left hook. It doesn't even look like he's got his gloves closed. He's got them closed now, though, as he cracks Molina with a nice chopping right hand, that time inside. Wow, with the left hand over there. Wow, with the right over the head. Look at Molina. Avoid these shots. Boy, what some nice defense. In the middle of it, he might have get clipped a couple of times. Watch the heads as they come together. Molina just letting the guy throw some punches right here now, trying to tie the hands up inside. He bangs him to the body inside. That's Molina with his back to the ropes, and that's Tackie with his back to you. Now here's Molina on the offense now. Loads up his overhand right. Dig behind that elbow again. Notice when he throws that elbow shot, he comes right back with a left hook. Every time he does it. Bang and bang. Look at this. The left hook, bang, right upstairs. That time he goes with the straight left hand of the face. Bounces the head back. Digs again. Comes with the right hand. Uppercut that time after the hook to the body. Man, this kid can fight. I mean, it's no surprise to me that he can fight, but Tackie, the younger guy, the real heavy puncher, and he's got his problems right now in the early going with John Molina, who's just flat out boxing him right now. And Tackie did start this third round a lot more aggressively than he did the first 2. He cracks Molina pretty good that time, but doesn't really hurt him any. You see, look at the hand speed there of John. Molina again with his backs to the ropes. The pride of Fajardo in Puerto Rico. Stands flat-footed there. This guy puts his face right in the face of Molina. And Molina says, hey, I'll get your back. Look at these punches. How many are there? 6, 7, 8 punches thrown. Wow. There's the uppercut inside that time by Tackie. Tackie loads up the chopping right, but it misses. Digs to the body with a shot. Molina really shouldn't be on the ropes, but anytime he chooses to, he starts throwing punches and comes right off anytime he wants. It's a fairly good-sized ring. A looping right hand puts him back on the heels for the first time, but he answers it again. Every once in a while, Tackie's getting a powerful right hand through there, but Molina's landing so many more punches and throwing so many more. Look at that digging shot. That was a liver shot with the left hand that time, right underneath that right elbow of Tackie. That can slow a guy down in a hurry. Tackie comes with the uppercut, it misses. Molina throws the right hand, ticket for the ear, and it lands. Bangs him on top of the head. Straight right hand gets through that time. Picks off the left jab by Tackie, that time by Molina. Molina throws 2, 3, 4, 5 punches in this combination. Lands a couple of them. Now comes back Tackie, he does. Gets it back. Nothing really lands fully. Boy, what a nice defensive job by Molina. Oh, nice left hook inside by Molina. It doesn't put Tackie on his heels, though. Tackie keeps plodding forward. He misses the left hand. Catches him with a looping right hand. Catches him with another left hook. But look at the amount of punches that John throws, and Richard Steele has to stop the action. The crowd likes this one. Why wouldn't they? That's a better round for Tackie, but I don't think he did enough to win the round, in my opinion. I've got this thing as shutout, 30-27. That's unofficial. In the corner with John Molina. We'll listen in. The Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the ring. And look at these. Look at the way this guy works off the ropes. Will you look at the amount of punches he throws and the combinations? Sure, he takes an uppercut inside there, but how about landing? If he threw 6 punches that time, he had to land 2 or 3 pretty crisply, I would say. Coming up to round number 4. Bob Sheridan here. You're watching Belmonte Productions World Telecast of the Heavyweight Championship of the World. This is one of 3 preliminary fights that will lead up to that in the junior welterweight division, featuring the former world champ, John Molina, who threw 3 rounds, pretty much giving a boxing lesson to Ben Tackie, the guy who's supposed to win this fight. The guy who's fought 4 world-ranked fighters in the junior welterweight division this year and defeated them all. Trying to pick up the pace a little bit more now is Tackie in round 4. Tackie decked out to the right of your screen in the colors of the Ghanaian flag, the fringe and the gold and the red and the green. John Molina of Puerto Rico in red, white, and blue. That's the color of the Puerto Rican flag. Uppercut. Right hand gets through. Tackie tries to land his right hand, but Molina's inside of it and takes the forearm to the side of the head. Look at his head's to head. You worry about cuts when you see the heads just like that, but so far the way they punch, the head movement isn't great when they're right on top of each other like that, so they're not banging their eyes. Tackie trying to pick up the pace here. You get the idea that Molina will explode any second now, and he does with a right hand, another right hand, a punishing body shot. Good left hand gets through, a couple of lefts get through. A little bit of puffiness by that left eye now of Ben Tackie. Tackie up on his toes now, trying to chase Molina off. Molina stops, plants his foot, and comes with an uppercut. Man, this guy does have the experience. I tell you, when you've been in 18 world title fights, it shows when you've been in a guy who's young, aggressive, only tasted defeat once in his 22 professional fights. This is his 23rd, 21 victories. And there's a big difference when you fight a guy that's been a world champion. Some say he's over the top, but he's certainly not over the hill. No matter what happens in this fight, Molina can still fight. About a minute to go in the 4th round in the scheduled 10-round affair from Las Vegas, Nevada. Richard Steele has to separate the guys one of the few times during the course of this fight. Look at Molina. He's throwing the punches now. Just touches him to the top of the head. Tackie, an awkward sort of guy. When he throws his punches, he has like his hands almost half open sometimes when he throws his jab, and his right hand hasn't landed anywhere near as many times as we thought it would. But we're still early in this fight. Molina at age 35, can he continue at this pace? He's thrown a tremendous amount of punches. He threw over 116 punches in the first round, 109 in the second round, and red round, 100 in the third round, I would estimate. See him digging to the body. Tackie lets him get away with it. Now he leans on him. He knows all the tricks of a guy that's been through many championship fights. This guy was a terrific champion, John Molina, in his prime. And while he's still a good fighter, he is not in his prime, but he can still fight, believe me. The bell ends the 4th round. Another pretty good round. That was the best round of the fight so far for Ben Tackie. If I would give Tackie any rounds, I might give him that one, but I don't know if he did enough to win that one. I actually think Molina still won that round. There it is, the Las Vegas Strip. What a beautiful city this is. Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, I've been covering boxing here in Nevada for some 30 years, and I've been living out here for 3 years, and the more time I spend here living here, the more I love the town. It's a wonderful place to visit, and equally a great place to live, believe me. Listening to Joe Goosen now with an hour across the way to Molina's corner.
Lado y lado, John, vos seguido alegre, vamos.
There's a nice crisp left hand. You see, we show it to you again. Nice crisp left hand. Look at the way Molina comes right back. Nice job by Cameron. Great job by Director Frank Belmont. Start once. Hey, want to see that again, folks? We show it again. Here we go. Round number 5. Scheduled for 10. This is the junior welterweight division on the night when the heavyweight championship of the world features Lennox Lewis and David Tua. Don't you go anyplace, wherever you are. This is going to be a big, big night of boxing before it's all over. Now this time, Tackie gets some shots through there, trying to load them up a bit. In the 5th round, it's time for Tackie to start winning some rounds, because I gave Molina easily the first 3 rounds and perhaps the 4th round, at least on my scorecard. And let's see if Tackie can or has worn him down at any stage now here as we move through 5, 6, and 7. Not quite as busy as he was. He's picking his shots now. Notice Molina hasn't done a lot in the first minute of this 5th round, but now he lands a couple of shots. As I say, he hasn't done much. Tackie appears to be throwing more punches now than is Molina, and as I say that, Molina throws about a 5 or 6 punch combination. Looping right, catches him. Left and rights again by Molina. Loads up the heavy right hand by Molina. Molina works a light one to the body. Is standing with the head on his shoulder, as you can see. Digs nice uppercut that time. Didn't quite catch him, because if he had, he'd have been on the flat of his back. But wow, whistling uppercut right past the nose of Tackie, thrown off the hands of John Molina. Right in the center of the ring. They can fight this thing in a phone booth right now. Shoulder to shoulder, head to head. Nice defensive movement again by Molina as Tackie tries to pick up the pace. Catches Molina with a light left hand, but Molina comes back and dances it with a left hand of his own. Right hand crashes over the top of the skull of Tackie. Molina just stands there with his forehead to forehead, cracks him with a left hook. Takes a light left hand, nice straight left hand that time by Tackie. Now Molina ties him up for one of the few times in the fight, and in comes Richard Steele. With a nice clean fight so far. The heads have been all around each other, but not bouncing into each other. Nobody trying to headbutt anybody. Now he's got punching room, has Molina. He's back. He's taking his little bit of a rest, and he's ready. You can see the adrenaline flow. Why with the left hand is Tackie, as Molina takes 2 nice left hands that time by Tackie. Tackie on his toes, digs a hard body shot. Molina, look at these combinations he lands. And he takes 2 shots by Tackie. Those are a couple of the best punches and one of the best combinations that Tackie has landed throughout the course of the fight. Nice right hand gets through this time. Judges may be able to give this round to Tackie. Tackie's had by far his best round. He's landed some power shots. As I say that, John Molina is landing plenty of shots as well. But if you're going to give any round of the fight, I said this in the 4th round, this is a bit more difficult round to score. I thought that Molina didn't land quite the amount of heavy blows that Tackie did, and therefore I would give Tackie this round. Molina was very, very busy. That's unofficially, that's only the way I see it, and that's just to give you an idea of how the judges may be seeing it.
Okay, now, you see what happens when you go first? Do you see what happens when you go first? On the inside, when you're right there, use that short jab, okay? Now, take a deep breath. Couple deep breaths. Good. Tackie. Did you do a lot of running? A lot of sparring? A lot of heavy? Don't get tired on me here. I want you to look great right now. You understand? Come on. And we got to fight.
Joe Goosen trying to psych Tackie, and you heard what he said. Hey, we got to fight tonight. In the corner, Molina.
Con lo tuyo, inteligencia, duro por abajo.
Telling him to work hard, fight intelligent, be smart, they're telling him. Now at age 35, can Molina continue the pace of the first 3 rounds and the 4th round? The 5th round, he threw a lot of punches. I just happen to think that Tackie landed the more effective blows in that 5th round. We're going to the second half of the fight. This is round 6. John Molina from Fajardo in Puerto Rico. To the left of your screen, to the right of your screen, in the green trunks facing you is Tackie. Tackie now with his back to you to the left of your screen. Boy, look at these shots that Molina's loading up here, trying to catch this guy. He's landed some good shots throughout the course. He's got his hands low. He's open for that. And I'll tell you this, Tackie's doing exactly what he should do. When he hangs that left hand down, just shuffle off to the right a little bit, throw the left hand, take the vision away, and then try to drop that right hand. He's doing it. He wants to stay off that left shoulder of Molina so he can land the big right hand. He wants to take the vision away, but see, he's satisfied to go with the looping right hand. He really ought to set it up and he'd be able to catch Molina. These are the things that, in spite of the fact that a great champion Molina is, as you get fatigued, you make little mistakes, and he's making a little mistake by hanging that left hand. And if Tackie, who might be fresh of the 2 right now, in spite of the fact he's taking a lot of blows, can see that, he can land the right hand. Molina instead is cute, though. He bounces off to his right, making Tackie miss, continues to make him miss, and that's frustrating. Goes with a nice sneaky right hand inside, so Tackie comes back with a left hook. Looping right hand, looked better than it was. Again, the right hand goes over the shoulder, 2 light left hooks to the right side of the head of Molina. Molina smartly hangs onto the offside of the referee, cracks him with a left hook behind the ear twice, comes back with the right hand and shifted him that time. Good right hand. call that a right cross, but it's a hooking motion, and that right hand is, man, a devastating right hand when you catch a guy right by the ear. This is 6th round action. It's a very even 6th round. 4 was closer than 1, 2, and 3. 5 was the other way in favor of Tackie, and 6 is still up for grabs, in my opinion. Although Molina is seemingly landing more punches in the last few seconds here, but still a little under a minute to go here. And if he keeps picking up shots like this, he's going to win this round. Molina up on his toes, showing that he still is fresh, still is a great conditioned athlete. Slides around, bounces to the right, back to the left, throws the left hand out, makes him miss again. Boy, look at the defensive work of John Molina. This is experience. This is really the type of boxing that they school these kids down in Puerto Rico for. So many great fighters. It's no accident that great fighters come out of there. They condition, they have tremendous amateur records, and then they fight anybody as professionals. The Puerto Ricans and Mexicans, you know, you take a Puerto Rican fighter with a record of 15 and 15, and you put him up against an American fighter with a 20 and 0 record, and you've got a war. Forget about the 15, because they fight everybody when they're coming along. They're not coddled at all, and the same is true in Puerto Rico. That's why when the Mexicans fight the Puerto Ricans, they love it. Right now, we have a fella from Accra and Ghana, a disciple of the great Azuma Nelson. But I think Molina has taken round number 6 in spite of all that.
You got to wrap that right hand around. He's standing up here. He's looking for the headshot. You got to hit him down here with the right hand. Boom, you got to take some chances. You're following him around. You got to cut the ring off. Cut the ring off. Don't let him circle you anymore. Okay? What is it? 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You got 4 rounds. It's a close fight. You're doing good. You're hurting him, but you got to make a statement here. You understand me? You got to make a statement right now. And you got to kick it into another gear now. You got to speed up your attack here. You understand? You understand me? All right. I want more attack. I will. More attack to the body.
Watch this right hand by Tackie. He gets one through it, just cracks him right on the top of the eyebrow, and Molina gets out of there in a hurry this time. And then he comes forward. It's heads do come together that time, and you can see the wincing on his face. It's amazing that there have been more headbutts in this fight, because they've had their foreheads on each other's shoulders throughout the course of the fight. This is round 7 for the Mandalay Bay. Beautiful arena. Seats about 20,000 for boxing here. Magnificent arena. You know, it's funny. These hotels in Las Vegas are so big. You walk into the hotel, you think you'd be able to see a 20,000-seat arena. You have to go looking for it. Same here. There's a couple other places in this town that are the same way. It's an amazing place to visit, Las Vegas, Nevada. John Molina with his back to you, shifting around to the left. Trying to cut the ring off, as Joe Goose and his corner man told him, is Ben Tackie. And Ben is going to do more than cut the ring off. He's got to throw some leather, because right now, John is out punching him. He's beating him to the punch. He's quicker. He's got the better defensive movements. He's able to circle around to his left, touch him with a jab. Watch the right hand. He wants to load up that right hand. Touch it, ducks underneath the wild shot. That time, a light right hand caught him on the jaw. Thrown by Tackie. Tackie on his toes right after him, plodding after him. But right now, Molina is making him look bad. He touches him, clips him with a left hook, digs to his belly downstairs, touches him again, gets his own hit snap back, but it doesn't hurt him any. Circles underneath the shots that Tackie throws, looping overhand right that doesn't miss. All the time, Molina taps him. That's to load up and get in position to get everything going for you when you throw the right hand. He just taps, just touches him. When you do that, you get the guy off balance. So all you got to do is just touch him, and you get him off balance, so he really can't get power behind his shots. When you get a guy even slightly back on his heels and he throws, he just can't get any power behind his shots. And Molina knows that, and that's why it looks like sometimes a lackadaisical jab. It's not, because he's hitting him just enough, just tapping him, keeping him back. Now he loads up the right hand, cracks him to the left side of the head. And Tackie knows he's got to get busy, and now he's getting tough inside. John signaling to the crowd, don't worry, I get this thing in command. Well, he's got some more rounds to go, a minute to go, and this is the 7th round from Las Vegas. Molina circles around to the left, stops, plants his feet, shoots out shots, lands upstairs, bangs him with another series of punches, about 4 or 5 in that combination. Nothing landed real heavy, but it kept the guy off him. As Tackie was trying to pick up the pace, just can't do it successfully because of the fact that Molina is so busy. I think Joe Goosen thought that this guy was going to wear down after 3 or 4, but he hasn't really significantly worn down. And so he's told Tackie to pick up the pace from 4 on. Tackie's trying to do that, and the heads come together again. Now that mouse underneath the left eye of Tackie's beginning to welt up pretty good. Plants the head and the chest and on the shoulder of Molina, and Molina says, I'm not going to let you do that. He bangs him underneath the elbow that time, lets the referee come in and separate them. Lands these combinations. Look at this. He throws 2 upstairs, 3 upstairs, then goes to the body, hits him with a good shot to the right hand, pays with the left hook by Tackie, makes Tackie miss again. Tackie misses again, comes forward, slips around to the left, circles to the left, does Molina. Molina grabs hold, and there's the bell ending the 7th round, and there was a shot after the bell. And as they tell boxers throughout their career, you got to protect yourself at all times. Don't relax after the bell. And that time, Tackie let one fly in frustration at the bell. That was a Molina round, by the way.
Tienes que protegerte tú, ¿ok? Exacto, que te protejas tú mismo, él no te puede proteger. Tienes que protegerte tú, ¿ok? Él te va a tirar a matar. Él tiene algo que tú tienes y es tu fama. Tú tienes que proteger tu fama y tu dignidad. Okay.
That's all right. Let me do the talk. He knows what he's got to do. You understand? You just got to attack him. Okay? Attack. Don't wait. Once he starts punching, don't block. You got to punch with him now. You understand? You want to block 1 or 2 and come right back. You're waiting too long for our last 3 rounds. You understand me? All right, here we go.
Ilan Haim and John Bray in there wanted to get talking to their fighter, Ben Tackie, and Joe Goosen very smartly and very courteously said, let me do the talking. Fighter can only listen to one guy at a time, and it's very bad when you have 3 or 4 guys screaming at the fighter. All Joe wants to do is make sure he understands he's got to pick up the pace. This is round number 8, scheduled for 10. It's been a good fight. Molina has shown, well, just some signs of the brilliance that he had throughout his career. This is a guy that's been in 18 World Championship fights, and he shows it tonight because Tackie's a good one, 21-1 with 13 KOs. Been encouraged by Azuma Nelson, who's here to see him fight tonight. But the encouragement is not what he needs right now. It's punches he needs to throw. And as I say that, it's Molina who throws about 10 punches, while Tackie gets off about 2. Look at Molina continue to throw, slips around him, slides down the ropes and spins him. Just touches him to get him off balance with that jab. It's not a real stiff jab. He's not stepping up into the jab to try and punch him with the jab. What he's trying to do is get himself positioned to land a big right hand. See, he touches again, digs to the body with a pretty good shot underneath that elbow. Pays by taking a shot with the left hand. He stays just outside that kill zone. Every once in a while, he waltzes in. You got to do that to get yourself positioning. And we'll find out more about that later on tonight because David Tua has got the fight inside. That time, the head was right on top of the left eye of Molina, and he kind of spun his neck. Now he's hanging on, trying to hit, and Richard Steele says, "No, we'll have none of that." This is round 8. I've got Molina winning every round except the 5th. Judges might have it a little bit closer, but it can't be too much closer. Past the midway point in the 8th round. Tackie trying to do things inside, but most of these punches are being caught by Molina on the gloves. This is a frustrating guy for Tackie to fight. He hasn't fought anybody in this class. Molina looks around. He's got to get this guy off. Instead, he complains to the referee, and he gets cracked with a pretty good right hand. Now he's mad. Now let's see what he does. Shouldn't be sitting on the ropes. Now he throws a lot of punches. Why he's sitting there is beyond me. I know why he's sitting there, because he's a little bit fatigued. If he wasn't as fatigued in the early rounds, he'd be sliding down those ropes, getting off there, spinning his man in, and then pounding him. But right now he's fatigued, so he wants to sit in there. He's still throwing a lot of punches. And he's been throwing punches like this since round 1. Look at the amount of shots this guy is throwing. Look at this. Man, oh man. 35 years old. 18 world title fights. Look at him. And now he lands a shot. Sets him up with the elbow. The crowd likes it. They're into it. Molina landing all kinds of shots. Remember, neither fighter has been down. Neither fighter has been visibly shaken. A lot of the punches he throws might just graze, just tap him, go off the elbows, but he's throwing a lot, and by golly, I'll tell you one thing, he's stealing the rounds on the judges' scorecard. He has to be. They call it effective aggressiveness. Inside of 10 seconds to go in the 8th round. This is another John Molina round. He just flat out boxed the guy. In spite of the fact he sat back in the ropes and let Tackie stay right on top of him for a good part of the 8th round.
Good? Good. Take some deep breaths.
Now my scorecard, as we listen to Joe Goosen, Tackie needs a knockout to win.
You didn't throw as many punches. He threw harder punches, but he threw a lot more punches than you did. You understand? So now he's a little bit tired, Tackie. These next 2 rounds, you have to work for 3 minutes. You understand? 3 minutes. You can't take off for a second. You understand me? You want to win this fight, pal? You want to win it? You have to win
Dame un hielito, dame un
Across the
hielito.
way to Molina's corner now.
Agua, yo, agua. Un hielito, un hielito, un hielito, un hielito. No hay hielo aquí. El cubo está ahí. No quiero...
I'll tell you, this guy is a consummate professional. You can't get yourself in better shape than this guy at 35 years old. He has worked and worked and worked throughout the course of this fight. Unbelievable difference in the amount of punches thrown by these two fighters. 102 punches did Molina throw in the last round. That's phenomenal in the 8th round of a prize fight for a 35-year-old guy. That's terrific. We appreciate the boys from Punchtown helping us out here. They're here, of course, working with TVKO, and Bob and Logan have been friends a long time, and they do a great job. 9th round action here. Tackie knows what he has to do. You heard what his corner man, Joe Goosen, who's been down the road with a lot of champion fighters over the years. It's his brother Dan that's one of the promoters from American Presents, and Tackie lands a long looping right hand, and now, right now, Molina coasting a little bit, but you'll see him open up. He's still throwing punches. He's throwing at least as many punches as is Tackie. His punches aren't as heavy, or don't appear to be as heavy. Very slick move that time. He walks behind the referee so that Tackie can't get at him. Tackie winds up with a right hand, misses. Right back, short, crisp punches thrown by John Molina. That's Molina to the left of your screen. Tackie with his back to you. There's got to be fatigue and a factor of fatigue for Molina, but as I say that, he throws a 3-punch combination. Comes with an uppercut that snaps the head back. Nobody down, nobody shaken in the fight. A lot of complaints about head butting and the heads coming together by Molina. And, you know, at this stage, when the guys are fatigued, they get a little bit sloppy and they don't have the same control. That head probably weighs like, feels like it weighs about 50 pounds of both of these guys when you get fatigued like that, and they come bouncing around with it a little bit. Nice left hand on the face that time of Molina. Tackie trying to stay busy, trying to get busy, but it's so frustrating for him because when he gets busy, Molina will just tap him. He cracked Molina pretty good. Molina wants to be sure that he doesn't allow this guy to get inside his kill zone too much. All he needs to do, really, if he fights sloppy for the rest of this minute of this round here, because right now Tackie's about to win this round. And Molina, all he's going to do is just kind of hang on, push the guy around, just stay in it, and don't stay inside the kill zone. He really doesn't have to engage this guy. He's got this fight won, but golly, remember one night when the heavyweight championship changed hands, when a guy won every single round, and all of a sudden George Foreman cracked the man in the last round of the fight to win the title. And that can happen. But Tackie is having his best round of the fight, but it's an awful lot a little bit late, because he needs to knock out Molina to win, in my opinion. Molina looks a little bit arm-weary right now, and why wouldn't he be? At 35 years old, he's thrown a million punches. Literally, he's thrown close to 1,000, I guess, or maybe right around 1,000 punches through 9 rounds. He got hit pretty good that time with the right hand. Left hook gets through. He needs to slide down the ropes. You don't want to stand around like that in the last round. He can win this fight coasting. Tackie won that round. The only other round that I've given Tackie was the 5th round, and that was questionable.
One more like that, okay? Tackie. One more like that. Good? Listen to me. Tackie. On the inside, shorten up on that right hand. You almost caught him with that boom right there. Shorten up on it. You see it, right? You see that right hand for his chin right now?
Let's go. This is the last round.
Coming up to the last round of the fight, I've got Molina ahead 88-83, meaning that Tackie would need a knockout to win.
Final round. Okay, big round.
Big round? Give me a big round? Hey, Tackie, they're just a little bit ahead. You know, knockout would happen.
Vamos.
No arriesgues nada.
No juegues nada. Está piano.
All right, here we go. Bob Sheldon here from Las Vegas, Nevada, the beautiful Mandalay Bay. It's a terrific arena, and it's getting more and more moving towards the capacity crowd that will be in here. Ben Tackie, trailing in this fight, needs a knockout in the 10th round to win this fight over the very experienced former world champion, John Molina, who's fought a brilliant tactical fight, a great defensive fight, and a tremendous offensive fight as well. He's got to stay outside that kill zone, and the way to do that is not to sit on the ropes. This is the way to do it. Get up on the... This is exactly the way to do it now. Get up on your toes, move, throw your little combinations, and get out of there. Don't let this guy catch you with a wild shot. This is exactly the way to do it. This is experience, and this is the way to fight a 10th round when you're ahead. Now, hang on. It's not pretty, but it's the way to win the fight. And that's what Molina must do if he's going to win this fight, because beating this guy who's beaten 4 top 10 ranked opponents could put John right in line for title shot. The world champion, Sean Bay Mitchell, Zach Judah, you know, these guys, they don't seem to want to fight. Costa Zoo, the promoters are trying to get them to fight each other, but so far they haven't got anything put together as yet. So this guy could slip right in there and get another title shot. Who knows what's going to happen against the Sean Bay Mitchell? Zoo, Zab. Loads up the right hand. This kid's phenomenal at 35 years old, that he's still hanging in there. And this time he loads up the right hand and spins the head of Ben Tackie. Tackie to the right of your screen. It is back to you now. This would be a brilliant win for John, as I just said, and it could put him right in line for a world title shot. As Judah and the rest of them, Zoo and Mitchell, are standing around waiting to see what their promoters can do to put them together. Coming up to the 1 minute remaining mark in this fight. John sits back and takes a few shots. He doesn't need to do this. He knows that he's got to slide down the rope and get out of there. If you say this guy hasn't got any power, I'll take those shots. It's a bad way to do it. Either hang on and get out of there. That's the way to do it. You know, 35 years old, every head blow you take doesn't do you any good. I mean, taking headshots doesn't do you any good at any age. But at 35, those little vascular situations that can happen when you take head blows are not good. And that's for sure. John will be around to fight another day as we come up to the 30 seconds remaining in this fight. Again, Tackie needs a knockout of my scorecard to win. John has done what he's had to do. Both guys loading up shots. They both want to finish strong. Both real professionals. John waves the hand, and Tackie's hand comes up. But it's John Molina who's outboxed this guy. Chasing him around. This is the way I would have liked to see him fight the whole round. And again, it's not pretty, but that's the way to win it. At age 35, you don't need to be mixing with a 27-year-old when you've got 6 or 7 point lead in the fight. But that ends a good fight for John Molina and a good educational fight for Ben Tackie.
All right, very good. You won that last round, good. Very good.
I got it 98-92. Kel Castellano will have it almost exactly as I have it, and Glenn Trowbridge and Cindy Barton will have it the way they usually score fights. We're going to see how close they are to me and Carol. That was a good fight to watch, man. If you enjoy boxing, to see a guy with the power coming into the fight of a Ben Tackie, who's done such a great job in this division against a guy who a lot of people thought, you know, we weren't going to see him be around again for another title shot because this kid, Molina's been around so long, although he's won all his fights in the year 2000, beat Juan Suarez in Miami back in February and had a nice victory in Muskogee at the Miccosukee Indian Reservation down there in Florida in May over Emmanuel Burton. And you got to go all the way back to January of 1999 when he lost that IBF title shot to Roberto Garcia. But here we are at the end of 2000, and he'd probably get another title shot right after the first of the year. This was a good fight, an extremely good fight for John Molina. And they don't really need to take anybody on, because fighting a guy like Tackie, who should, by the way, be ranked in the top 10 in this division, when you get guys in the division like Zoo, Judah, and Mitchell, who are the best, and Randall Bailey and Millette and Diaz. He's certainly a better fighter than Mickey Ward, Reggie Green, and Hector Camacho Jr. is still coming along, so we don't know quite just how good he is. Okay, here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the Budweiser scorecards. Carol Castellano scores the bout 96-94. She has it for Tackie. Cindy Barton-Ween scores at 97-93. She scores it for Molina. Glenn Trowbridge scores the bout 97-93 for the winner on a split decision, John Molina.
Wow, that time, well, you know, I made the comment before the decision came down that Carol Castellano and I usually have it exactly the same. Well, that's one of the first times in the scoring of boxing that I don't agree with Carol. Carol, I'm afraid you had it wrong that time, my friend, because John Molina won that fight. But in spite of the fact it was a split decision, the right guy got the split decision, so it all worked out in the long run.